Let's get more from this. The Member of Parliament for Wa West, Peter Lanchene Toobu, has joined us on the phone lines to have a stake on this development. Honorable, thank you so much for your time. Let's get straight into it, and let me find out from you if you were impressed with the vetting of the Honorable Mubarak Muntaka for the Ministry of the Interior.
Good evening to you and good evening to your cherished listeners.
Very well,
today
sir.
Today was one of the best days for me in Parliament. Sitting among my colleagues at the appointment committee meeting and listening to the Minister of Interior designate, Honorable Mubarak Muntaka. He was quite impressive, expressive, and very clear in language, showing that few days that he's been nominated, he's taken his time to learn the ropes, listen to the heads of institutions of these agencies, and he's gradually beginning to understand the synergies among all the agencies under the Ministry of Interior. Honorable Muntaka, I think that I was impressed when throughout his answers, all the answers that he gave, there was something that ran through the answers. Now listen, I will go there if you give me the nod.
Very well.
One thing that I will look at is national interest.
Right.
Everything that I'll do, I'll try to put national interest as a priority. If I say I want to review, I'll review in line with national interest.
Right.
If I'm taking any decision, I will do it in line with national interest.
Right.
And I think one of the critical questions that was asked was his ability to keep confidential matters confidential. And he said, I mean, as a chief whip, the longest serving chief whip in Ghana's Fourth Republic, if you understand what the work of a chief whip entails, for him to have served that long and up to date, nobody has ever mentioned his name in any scandal that is related to confidentiality. It tells you, in fact, he's learned the ropes and he's willing to go to the Ministry of Interior and do what is right. I think one funny issue that was probably people wanted to hear from him.
Yeah.
Honorable Minister Designate, there are a lot of recruits under training as we speak. They were recruited in the last days of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. If you take over as Minister of Interior, will you sack them? He said no. Why would I sack them? If I'm going to review, I'll review in line with national interest. But of course, if you have somebody who is not supposed to be in uniform, the person doesn't have the qualification. Under very normal circumstances, under very regular recruitment practices, that particular person cannot be in uniform. Such people, if you're asked to go home, I don't think that you are doing anything against Ghana.
Very well. Honorable, let's look at some of...
You always do everything in line with national interest.
Let's look at some of the questions that were asked and his responses. We can start off with respect to the leadership of the various services and narrowing in on the question on the current Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, and whether or not what his take will be on whether or not the IGP should be kept on in office, and what his response were. What do you make of this question and the response that came from the Honorable Minister Designate?
Honorable Muntaka responded maturely. What he said is that, like in my local parlance, there's this adage that says, when you are a stranger in town, they will show you, elders will show you a bad tree, but they will not show you a bad person. Why? Because with time, you get to know whether this person is good or bad. He's just about to get to the ministry. He says, when I get in there, I'll review the system, appreciate what is real, and all the perception that I've gotten around, I will match it against the reality, and probably, if it is very clear that somebody needs to be recommended to be changed, I will do that recommendation. But that is, unfortunately, the job of His Excellency the President. I cannot fire an IGP. It is the President who appoints and can disappoint. But at least I will guide the President in line with the facts that I have gathered and analyzed. And what will be the important guiding principle is national interest.
Let's look at the recruitment into the service and the question posed by the minority leader regarding protocol slots for members of parliament. First off, is this a question that should have come up in such a public hearing? And then your assessment of the Honorable Minister Designate's answer to the question.
Most grateful. I think that you could see the response or the reaction of the Chief Whip, Honorable Dapiamapo. I think he was quite furious. Yeah. Because when you make an emphatic statement that MPs, both NDC and MPP, are always giving protocol recruitment, and I wonder whether this is the the new policy direction. Because with my experience over the past 25 years as a police officer, sharing slots to politicians is not a standard practice. It cannot be. There is no policy written down to say this is a policy shift within the security sector regarding recruitment. That when you want to do recruitment, you go and share it among politicians. It doesn't exist anywhere. So, in fact, people were a bit agitated on hearing that message. But that notwithstanding, I think that the chairman of the committee, Honorable Ahiafo, managed to settle the matter. And the response from Honorable Muntaka, very much. You see, these are things that sometimes in the public domain, when you hear, and you are so new to the matter, and probably you are hearing it for the first time, and you are also an MP, you are right to be very angry. Because people are listening, and my constituents will say, oh, so they gave you slot that you never gave us. What did you do with it? That notwithstanding, I think that in the past, we've seen politicians parading people on a Facebook wall, showing how many people they have been able to recruit using their own influence. And we thought that was very wrong. So for it to come from the minority leader, I think that is something that all of us need to look at. And the new minister designate, when he gets the nod, he has gotten the nod. If he's sworn in, he gets to the ministry. He should look at that thing very critical and ensure that every Ghanaian will have the equal opportunity to apply and join the service at will. You need to be willing. That is the first thing. A willing soul goes to apply and tries his life to join. If you get the opportunity, and they will try to balance it. I mean, we can't recruit all the people from our west. We cannot recruit all the people from Greater Accra. It is a national service, okay? Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration Service. All these security agencies are representative of our Ghanaian character. And for that matter, the recruitment will also have that representation.
Right. Honorable, one more issue that was pretty dominant was the issue of staff welfare and promotions within the services. Your take on this quickly, and then we can wrap it up.
Many of these, the process is the same. These are regimented institutions with a pyramidal structure. And the councils are responsible for promotions at the higher level, and the heads of institutions are responsible for promotions at the lower level. For instance, in the police, the Inspector General of Police and his Police Management Board are responsible for promotions from constable to chief inspector. The Police Council takes over from ASP to the end. But very particularly, from Assistant Commissioner going forward, it is the duty of His Excellency the President on the recommendation of the Police Council. So he is saying that, look, whatever it is, when I get in there and the establishment is clearly defined for me, and I see the structure and look at promotion that has been done in the past, if there are any petitions lying down waiting for attention, of course, we'll quickly look at it. But promotion is actually a motivational factor. It enhances morale. So whatever it is, the minister designates he's going to look at it. But if people are complaining about promotions, it will gradually affect their morale. And when it affects their morale, it will affect crime rate. It will affect the capacity of the fire service officers to go and fight fire. It will affect the willingness of prison officers to go in there and take care of their image. So promotion in any regimented institution is so cardinal as motivational factor.
Right. A very final one, and I'll be grateful if you can give me an answer in about 30 seconds. Will have to do with the absence of a national security ministry under this administration. The previous administration did have a national security ministry. What do you think of this?
His Excellency the President has decided the direction to go. And he thinks that if he's talking about security and he wants to release one ministry off the list, it will be the National Security Ministry. And he believes that with the National Security Coordinator, working together with all the ministers of defense and interior, we have lost nothing. And I think that is the way to go, and we have to support him.
Honorable, thank you so very much for your time. We're grateful and we wish you well.
We're grateful.
Right, that was the Honorable Peter Lanchene Toobu, Member of Parliament for Wa West, speaking to us regarding the vetting of the Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak for the Ministry of Interior.